and welcome to another session in English language. And today in this session we'll be looking at a very important part of English language, which is speech work. And the aspect of speech work we're going to be considering today is sentence intonation patterns. And wow, you'd want to listen till the end of today's lesson. But before that, let us review the previous lesson. Welcome back. Like I said, we're considering an important part of English, which is speech work. And our focus on the speech work is sentence intonation patterns. Sentence intonation patterns. Okay, we are looking at the word intonation. Okay, so intonation and stress are very important aspects of English language. Now, what's intonation? Intonation has to do with the variation in the pitch of the voice. In the pitch of the voice. So, when we say intonation, we mean there is a variation in the pitch of your voice. Your voice is either it is high or low, as the case may be. So there we can have you speaking in high intonation, or we can have you speaking in low intonation, and this affects, goes a long way to change the meaning of the intention of the speaker. So when you speak, the voice or the pitch of your voice changes. There is a variation in the pitch of your voice. It either becomes high or it becomes low. And like I said, when it's high, it has a meaning. When it's low, it has its own meaning. So let's look at when your voice is low, we say it's a falling tone. So a falling tone is a low pitch voice. A falling tone is a low pitch voice variation. Okay, so you have a low pitch there. Okay, when you have a falling tone. Okay, and we use the falling tone oftentimes when we make declarative sentences, when we give commands, when we make exclamations, and also when we ask WH questions. These are when our voices are on a low pitch, or we have what's called a falling tone. For instance, Joy works hard in school. I can say Joy works hard in school. No, it doesn't. It's Joy works hard in school. Joy works hard in school. If you check the variation in the pitch of my voice, it's a whole lot different. Joy works hard in school. Emeka has given the book to her. Alright, those are statements, declarative sentences. We could also have commands. Stand under the tree. The teacher tells all the students, stand under the tree. Now that's a command. So you don't need to. It's just a command. Okay, you ask the students, keep the books on my table. Okay, go outside. Okay, leave my class. These are commands. Okay, and they usually are in the falling tone. Then we ask WH questions. WH questions are just questions that are either who, what, why, where, So if you look at this, every of these, they all begin with WH. Though we also have one that is not beginning with W but has a WH in it, and that's what how. Okay, so we could have things like, why are you very late? For instance, you come to class late when the lesson has started. The teacher asks you, why are you very late? Who gives you the information? Who gives you the information? Then we could also have it in exclamations like, what a good result. For instance, you do very well in your promotional exam. The teacher says, wow, what a good result. You could also say, how pretty she is. Those are exclamations using the falling tune. But the rising tune, like I said, falling tune has to do with a low pitch, but when it has to do with rising tune, it has to do with what is called a high pitch. A high pitch. Okay, so it's very important that we note that it's just to do with the high pitch. So the low pitch, falling tune, high pitch, rising tune. So when do we use the rising tune? When we ask polar questions. Polar questions are simply questions that demand yes or no. That's what we call polar questions. For instance, is the wine sweet? You can see the yes. Is the wine sweet? Now it's either a yes or no. If it's a yes, you scream yes. So it's a rising tune. Don't say is the wine sweet. Is the wine sweet? It's rising tune. Okay. Will Monday be good for it? You can see that. Will Monday be good for it? Now that's a polar question. Yes or no. Let's say we want to have an appointment. I'll ask, will Monday be good for it? I'll ask questions like, did you eat last night? Did you eat last night? You either say yes or no. Now, you could make your utterances, maybe your utterances are showing indifference. You can do what you want. You can do what you want. Now, that's an utterance that shows indifference. Now, I'm trying to talk to my students. I think that is right. I think that is right. Your future is in your hands. Your future is in your hands. Now, that is an utterance showing what? Indifference. Your future is in your hands, not mine. So, whatever you make do of your future is in your hands. So, we could also use your rising tune for listing items. For listing what? Items. We could say 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, we could make a list like, we need some rice. Now, this is rice, beans, fish. Then the last one will be a falling tune. And meat. We need some rice, beans, fish, and meat. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So in enumeration, it is said that the final item in the list is usually said on the falling tune. I just said that now. Okay. So we could also have a situation where we have a rising and falling tune. But just before we get into that, I quickly want to point something that just came to my mind. When we are indicating a falling tune or a low pitch, we use something like an arrow that is going downwards. Okay? We use an arrow that is going what? Downwards. But in the case of a high pitch, we use an arrow that is going what? Upwards. Okay? So sometimes you could have a combination of both in a sentence. You can begin with a falling tune, which is going downwards, and then move towards a high pitch. Okay, or we could have a high pitch, and we could then have a falling pitch. Whichever way it goes, so but we can have a combination of that in a sentence. Look at this now: rise and fall. So rise and fall means that what we're going to have something like this. It's going to be rising, then it's going to be what? Falling. Okay, so this is rise and fall, and this is fall and rise. So fall is going down and rise is going up. Alright, so now let's get to the rise and fall pattern. Now it will read this way: while the boys were working, the girls were playing. While the boys were working, the girls were playing. When the rain comes, I will plant my seeds. Now look at the pitch. When the rain comes, I'll plant my seed yams. When the boys were working, the girls were playing. Okay, the students are happy. The students are happy. Ain't they? Now, you notice that I began with the falling tune and I arrived with the students are happy. Ain't they? You can do it. You can do it. Can't you? Now, it's a polar question, so remember it's a yes or no. Can't you? Yes, I can. Or no, I can't. Okay? So, that is what we need to know. So, don't forget the rising and falling tune. Okay? The rising and falling tune. So, we could have all of that in our lesson. So, let's go to what we have next, and that is writing an argumentative essay. So, we are moving to another aspect of English, very, very important, and that is your essay writing. Remember, in previous classes we learned on narrative and descriptive essay. Today our focus is on argumentative essay. Now, what is an argumentative essay? It's got it from the word argument. An argument. Now, what is an argument? Because somebody will say, what is an argument? So an argument is what a whole lot different from what you call a debate, even though a debate is almost close to what we call an argument, but not. I'll clarify on that as we move further. Okay, so when you are asked to write an argumentative essay, there is a style that is what required. So an argumentative essay, let me put it structurally. I will tell you that an argumentative essay is a type of essay that demands your persuasion based on your presentation of facts. So I will put the word persuasion when you are writing an argumentative essay. So you must sound persuasive, and there is what you call presentation of facts. Presentation of facts. Presentation of facts. Now, so in argumentative essays, you have two sides. Okay, you have two sides. Okay, and in this type of essay, you are to present your view, your subjective view. Okay, now your view is not necessarily the superior view or the most accepted view. It's only that you just need to present your facts, trying to persuade the reader, to agree with your points of view. So an argument is not shouting at the top of your voice. An argument or debate is not won by screaming at the top of your voice, by loud tonation, or by just moving around the stage or something. No, you win arguments based on presentation of what I call your facts. I said that here, right? The presentation of your facts. So that's how you win an argument. Okay, somebody's making an argument with you, Okay, about the different, which is better off. Is it the military government versus the civilian administration? Okay, so some persons believe that we should have what we call the civilian regime. Some people believe in what is called the military regime rather, and some persons believe what we call civilian administration. So we have our views. Like I said, it's just your ability to persuade your reader to agree with your points. And how you persuade your reader is by logically presenting your facts. Okay, present your facts to your reader. Now, the essence, like I said, of this type of essay is strictly what? An argument, which most times is like a debate. You are either trying to do one of either proving a point, that's number one. You are either trying to prove a point, okay, in an argumentative essay. So it could be that your facts that you have is proving a point. For instance, when I said military versus civilian, so you can be trying to prove to me as your reader that you prefer, your view is hinged on what you call military regime. You prefer the military. You can trace every form of developing your country to the military regime, or you can choose to hold your views or opinions on civilian administration. So you are either trying to prove a point, one, you're trying to present a viewpoint. That's another reason why you are writing. Okay, you are trying to present a viewpoint. It could be, okay, look at the topic we have above. The topic is the home is responsible for the unruly behavior of teenagers in the society. And when we say the home here, we mean beyond just your physical house. We mean, when we say the word home, we mean your home could cut across your dad, your mom, that's your father, your mother, and even your siblings, your elder siblings. Or we could either mean also your extended family. So who is responsible for the unruly behavior? That is the rude behavior that is prevalent among teenagers today in the society. So that's an example of what you call an argumentative essay. So you are either proving a point, or you are presenting a viewpoint, or lastly, you are trying to balance these two sides of what? An issue, which is one thing I want to stress in today's lesson. Whenever you are proving your point or presenting a viewpoint, make sure you balance the two sides of what? The issue. For instance, here, who do we blame? Is it the parents? Is it the government? Or is it the school? Now, who should be what? Blamed. One, we have some persons will go with the parents, which is the home. Some persons will go with the school, should be blamed. And some persons will go with what? The government should be what? Blamed for the unruly behavior of teenagers. But you have to, hold a view. You have to, present your facts logically. Like I said, never be involved in an argumentative essay when you don't have enough facts. I repeat, don't write an argumentative essay when you have insufficient facts. So, now, the last thing we're going to be considering on argumentative essay is for the purpose of what? Examination. And remember, you are in your final class, SS3. And so there are some things you should know when you are attempting your exams and you are giving a question on argumentative essay in English language. For examination purpose, you should realize that if you are asked to write a debate, it's an argumentative essay. Okay, sometimes it could not be a debate. So please, if it's not a debate, don't begin with things like, good day, Mr. Chairman, panel of judges. No, that's not what you are asked to do. So we'll talk about this successively as the lesson progresses. So, debates are different from argumentative essays. Even though all debates are argumentative essays, but not all argumentative essays are debates. I'll say that one more time. All debates are what? Argumentative essays. but not all argumentative essays are debates. So you should note that. Very, very important. So all debates are argumentative essays, but not all argumentative essays are what? Debates. So you must be logical in your attempts of such what question. On the other hand, like I said, you have your viewpoint, present it logically, present your facts, and try to convince your reader. Please, the word here is emphasize convince or persuade. Okay, convince or persuade your reader. Okay, so make sure the person agrees with your line of thought. Okay, and another example was given below. You're writing an essay presenting your facts or points for or against the topic. So please, in an argument, you are writing for or what? Against. For means in support. Okay, you are supporting the line of thought given, and against means you are in opposition. In opposition. So, in opposition. Okay, so now you are asked to write an essay presenting your points for, which is in support, or against, in opposition to the topic. Day students perform better than boarding students in examination. Now, the truth is, as I've said this now, some persons may disagree. No, day students also, they do excellently well. While some persons may say, no, there's a whole lot of distraction, at home, and a whole lot of challenge faced by day students, maybe in coming to school, the transportation issue, and all of that. So, some persons, you will have your own viewpoint, but don't forget what I said. You are writing in favor for or against. If you're writing for, you are supporting that these students perform better. If you're writing against, you are writing that boarding students perform better in examinations than what day students. And like I said, no audience should or is under duress to agree with your line of thought, but you just have the onus to present your facts, and all you need to do is write the topic and start your essay. But like I said, don't start until you have your facts intact. So this brings us to the end of today's lesson. So to refresh your memory and recall all that was taught in this lesson, I would love you to take the test that will appear on your screen.